So today we thought we'd do another one in our series of hope for the situation in the coronavirus. Tricia, we've been talking about the circumstances people are finding themselves in at the moment with, uncertainty about work, uncertainty about finances, and about loved ones who may be somewhere else and in isolation. How would you sum it up at the moment in that regard?
Look, I think for many of us, all our lives, we've thought that we could control and have some sense of just knowing where we're going, planning. We've thought we've had that control. Then all of a sudden, that's just been taken away from us because all of a sudden there's so much uncertainty about the future, and we've always striven for certainty. I know where I'm going, and it all makes us feel very comfortable. I mean, even no matter what it is, when we know what a situation is, we can somehow feel more settled. We always find that just having some solutions makes us feel better. But we're not in that position at the moment. And everywhere we turn, there's uncertainty. So there's uncertainty with our finances, with what's going to be happening in the future. For some people, it's how they're going to pay bills, how they're going to get their next meals. And so these are not just life things. These are survival things, and it's really throwing a lot of people into some real disarray at the moment. So it's very very discomforting, and that is expected because we've never been in a position like this before.
Yeah, I think that's really right about where people are, and this uncertainty is this feeling that there's no control over anything, and what can we do? We've actually thought this through a little bit more at this point, and really got community together to really see what can be done for everyone. And so this idea of keep moving forward, rather than just worrying about the current moment, maybe starting to think about what the future might hold and what we can do. So there are things we can do and there are things we can't do. We don't have total control over things at the moment, but we can maybe decide to spend some of our time either learning new things for ourselves or giving some of our time for helping others.
Well, this is really a great opportunity now, because it's really interesting. Often you hear the concept of learn to be in the moment and think positive and do what you can do. Well, actually, this is really the time to begin that practice. And like you said, Nigel, there are things we don't have control over, but there are also things we can do, which really regains that sense of feeling like you are having an influence and it is your way. So there is an inkling of way you can become empowered during this time. And so deciding to select some things that you are going to do or are going to discover is that pathway of getting that feeling back, of feeling like, look, I know where I'm going here. I know what I'm doing. And for many of us, it's learning something new. It's discovering something about ourselves. It's doing something that we may not have done before, but we realize is so wonderful, like maybe caring for others, people down the street, cooking. Hey, learning how to make some nice meals with a few ingredients.
Absolutely.
So there are actually real opportunities for really feeling like you've got it. You're doing it.
Well, we're going to provide some details at the end of this blog, actually, for where to go, the sites that people can go to for this, and we've got a whole plethora now of amazing Zoom sessions which are being done live. So there is someone actually to interact with. It's not a video running, it's actually somebody really being there. And so these people are amazing in that they're just prepared to give up their time and just be there no matter who shows up and whatever else happens. But the fantastic thing about it is that, as you said, Tricia, that feeling that we're starting to learn new things and we're responding to this time by doing new things, learning new things, and I think you've mentioned before as well, Tricia, you know, when you do something for, I think you mentioned you're helping a neighbour at the moment, an 80-year-old neighbour. And there's something beautiful when you can just do something for someone else. You're not looking for anything in return, but actually you get so much from doing it that you see that pleasure and the appreciation, the gratitude that someone else feels towards something that you're doing. And so we can, these are all the ways in which we can begin to grow in this situation. We can help others, we can learn things, and we can, you know, there may be people out there who have skills in particular areas that they might want to share it too. And so again, by going to this site that we're going to provide later, they can provide that information to us, and if that works out, that's great, because they can be one of our facilitators also.
And we talk about the real-time and heart-based. We are really in a position right here, right now, for the heart to open. And it's not something that all of a sudden I'm deciding to. It is happening naturally within what we're in. So when we talk about the real time, the moment, what is happening right now, and the heart-based, we are right in it, and you have that opportunity to begin experiencing it in this way, and then really feeling what this can bring for your life. So there is hope, and there's lots of opportunities.
It's a lifelong opportunity, I feel, Tricia, too, because you start in a small way. You know, you start making just small intentions to do something differently, to see things differently, to work with people differently, and then that growth that occurs from the feeling you get just means you stay in your heart more and more. Now, in fact, we've actually got another thing coming up, which will be starting next Monday, which is our workshop on real-time heart-based, which is providing this growth cycle, Tricia.
Yep. So the growth cycle is really all about this. Just as we have new realizations, we start to feel differently, we start to open up to new possibilities, and we start to create new visions for ourselves and slowly start to move in that way. And then slowly that becomes us. And this is a bit of the cycle that we will introduce in the growth cycle with the workshops that we will be offering. And it is a great opportunity to really watch yourself as you grow and shift and experience your life very differently. And it's a wonderful thing, because there is an opportunity to feel life in that real heart-based way.
Yeah, so we'll provide details about that also, probably in a later blog as well. But certainly for now, I feel coming out of this, Tricia, there's hope. You know, right now everything seems to be quite dark, you know, and uncertain. But the more we all just do some things for the future, and we've coined that phrase of keep moving forward. So the notion of, for everyone, just try and keep moving forward in some way, however small that is, and it will help. It will help that sense, as you've said, Tricia, of feeling like the future isn't so bleak, and there are things that we can do now that can really make the future seem much better.
Yeah, absolutely. Just setting that intention. Okay, this time while this is happening, I'm setting my intention to learn, to grow, and keep that close to you, so that every morning when you wake up, you see where you're headed for the day, and that can make a real difference to how that day feels.
Absolutely. So for now, this is the end of this blog, but we will be back with some more ideas and more hope in coming blogs.